Guys, if you could raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. Oh, Vinny's here. Vinny?
Arne, obviously Federico hasn't travelled. He has been added to the Champions League squad though, so what's the situation with him?
Yeah, he got a little niggle, I think is the word you use here in England. So in the last game against Palace, so he tried it today. He was on the pitch in the beginning, but he couldn't end the session. So we decided not to take him because in a few days it's Chelsea again.
The obvious answer is a win, but also in terms of the performance as well, what's the key element that you're really looking for in terms of a reaction to the disappointment of Saturday?
I think we always have to do, no matter if we win, lose or draw, what is asked from you if you want to compete for trophies, but let alone if you wear the Liverpool shirt, and that is giving everything you have and combine that with the best football you can play. And I think, especially in the second half, we created during the course of the game against Palace more chances than we've created in all the 3 games we've played before against Palace. But we conceded also much more chances than we did before when we played Palace. So we can definitely improve on a few things. And the things we can improve, I will show tonight. Not to you, by the way, but to the players.
Öncelikle Türkiye'ye hoş geldiniz. Kararı gazetesi.
First of all, welcome to Turkey.
Türkiye'ye hoş geldiniz. Kararı gazetesi Furkan Uzun.
Welcome to
Hoca
Turkey,
belki de
first of
dünya
all.
futbol tarihinde bir rekora imza atıyor olabilir. Şöyle ki
Probably
2021
record-breaking in the
yılından bu
world
yana
football.
Feyenoord ve
But, I mean,
Liverpool'la
since
170 maçta öne geçti.
21,
Bunların 143'ünü kazandı.
with
Sadece
Feyenoord
8
and other
yenilgisi var. Yani
teams,
totalde
you
170
have
maçta öne geçip kaybetme oranı
been
%4.
ahead in
Buradaki bu
170
kaybetme
games
oranının bu kadar
and
düşük
lost in
olmasının
very
temel
few
faktörü
matches
nedir?
in those
Bir
matches
de
that you became ahead.
yaz
So when
transfer
you
döneminde Liverpool
score
çok
and
önemli yıldız
become
oyuncular
ahead,
kadrosuna
you
kattı.
lose
Hücum
very
anlamında
few
iki
matches.
tekerleği sak
What's the
gibi.
reason behind that?
Galatasaray'ın da bir
And
süper yıldızı var.
also,
Osimhen.
secondly,
Osimhen Galatasaray'ın
you have
transfer
brought a lot of
gündemine, Liverpool'un
strikers, a
transfer
lot of
gündemine
star
gelmiş
players
miydi?
to your team.
Antendeki
And
arasında
Galatasaray
mıydı?
bought Osimhen,
Değilse
Victor
neden gündeme
Osimhen.
gelmedi?
Was
Teşekkür ederim.
Osimhen on your agenda during the summer transfer window to bring your club? What would you say on that?
Those were a lot of questions. I wasn't aware of it. He told me that in 170 games that I'm managing now, most that we came 1-0 up or 2-0 up, that we won those games. What's the reason behind it? Yeah, the reason is always quite simple. I've been really fortunate to manage 2 very good clubs, 2 very good teams that are always playing in the top end of the table. So yeah, the players always make the difference. I don't know West, but that helps, of course, by winning so many games if you go 1 or 2-0 up. Yes, we've added 2 number 9s. How should I say this in the right way in English? Unfortunately is not the word I should use, but because of an enormous tragedy that happened with Diogo Jota, in the end we had to bring in 2 number 9s. We always thought we were going to replace Darwin Núñez with 1 number 9, but in the end we had to replace, not replace is not a good word, so I'm sorry if I don't use the right words, but we had to bring in 2 number 9s, and we're always looking for very good players, but it was always clear to us that from the start we wanted to bring in these 2 if we needed to.
At the front here. Yeah. You.
TRT Spor Serdar Kelleci. Topa sahip olan
In terms of
Topa sahip
possession,
olan bir Liverpool izliyoruz
we are
genel olarak.
watching a Liverpool that
Ama
tries
Liverpool
to keep
setlerinin
hold on to
özellikle
possession.
Bradley'nin backstopper
But,
arasında
for
yaptığı
example,
koşuları Ramberg'in oraya doğru
despite
kanalize
runs
olduğu
like
ama
by
bunların
Burnley
set
and
sayılarını
others,
çok fazla göremediğimiz bir Liverpool izliyoruz
we haven't
özellikle
been
bu
able
sezon.
to see
Glasner gibi hocaların
Liverpool
Liverpool'un defolarını ortaya
can
çıkarttığını düşünüyor mu? Bu
really,
ileride
focus on
Liverpool'a
attacks.
bir sorun olarak geri
And,
dönebilir
do
mi?
you think you might have troubles in the future in attacking football despite having possessions? Are you having difficulty finding chances?
No, we don't play football to have possession. We play football to create chances and to score goals. And in most games we've played since I'm here, and I think that's the situation as long as Liverpool exists, they have more ball possession than the other team. And sometimes the other team doesn't bother. They are completely fine with the fact that we have more ball possession than them because they just defend really strong. And in modern football, it's more and more complicated because all teams are managed so well, are so fit. It's getting harder and harder to play through, and that's why we decided also to bring in good attackers, good players that can play in the front four, that can help us unlocking those low blocks. But that's never easy, not for us, not for any team in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rezan Yetiş, Ekol Sport. Galatasaray'ın Frankfurt yenilgisi öncesi
Galatasaray has been
5 gol
defeated
yediği
against
son
Frankfurt.
maç Beşiktaş'a karşıydı ve
They
o karşılaşmada
conceded 5
hocanın
goals.
yardımcı
The
antrenörlerinden
previous
Van Bronckhorst
match
Beşiktaş'ın
Galatasaray
hocasıydı,
conceded
Beşiktaş'ın
5
teknik
goals
direktörüydü.
was against
Şunu merak
Beşiktaş.
ediyorum, yarınki
Back
maç
when
öncesinde
Giovanni Van
Van
Bronckhorst
Bronckhorst'la
was the coach
birlikte
of
bir
Beşiktaş.
analiz
So,
gerçekleştirdi mi veyahut
did you
Van
conduct
Bronckhorst bu
many
karşılaşmayla
different
ilgili
talks
kendisine
or
bir takım
analysis
bilgiler verdi mi?
with Van
Teşekkürler.
Bronckhorst, or did he inform you about some specifics, some tips that you can use on this match tomorrow against Galatasaray?
Giovanni van Bronckhorst is one of my assistant coaches, so he's part of the setup if we discuss and talk about the team we face, if that is Palace or Everton or Atletico Madrid, or in this situation Galatasaray. So he has knowledge about Turkish football. He knows these players, some of them that we're going to face tomorrow, maybe better than the rest of the staff does, because we've not worked in this league, we've not played against them. But in modern football, there are so many videos, you can watch so many games that every manager, even if you haven't worked here, know a lot about the other team. So yes, we've used Gio, as we've used the other assistant coaches as well. And that was a very special evening for him. They won the Super Cup, if I'm correct, in that evening. So special. He's known for winning a lot of trophies, Gio, in Holland, and he did this here as well. What was your other question? Their loss against Frankfurt. Yeah, I've watched that game, and for me they were very, very, very, very unlucky in that game. The chances they gave away were only small, and it was either the quality of Frankfurt or a little bit of bad luck for Galatasaray that they conceded 5, because if the same game, they play the same game again, they will never, ever, ever concede 5 goals again in that same game, because they played much better than the 5-1 showed. And that's also what you see now in the beginning of the season here in Turkey. 7 wins, only conceded 2, if I'm correct. Scored a lot of goals, so a very, very good team with a very good manager that's been so successful over here as a player and as a manager. So they know what it takes to win the league, and they know what it takes to win a game of football. So we have to be prepared for that.
Ian.
Good evening, Arne. I know you've changed your fullbacks from last season, but at the start of last season you kept 6 clean sheets in your first 10 games. So far you've kept 2 clean sheets in your first 9 games. How would you analyse your defence this season?
No, I almost like that you asked me this question, because for me defending is only a small margin, defenders. So I think one of our strengths was that we kept the other team away from our goal a lot. And that normally doesn't start with your defenders, that starts somewhere else. And if you then just look in it more detailed, we've conceded 4 goals from set pieces. So yeah, we've changed our fullbacks, but we've changed a bit more than only our fullbacks. And the goals we've conceded, I should look back at it in detail, but the first thing that comes to my mind is not that the fullbacks are our problem. It's always been a team performance last season. I said this many times. The reason why we hardly conceded is that 11 players work incredibly hard to make it difficult for the other team to even create a chance. And that's what we've done this season many times as well. But you can work as hard as you want, but a set piece is almost a different game inside the game. That was, by the way, that would have been maybe an even better question. That was one of our main strengths last season, that we hardly conceded from set pieces. So we have to go back to that. We haven't changed our setup. We haven't changed anything. So we have to prove in the upcoming weeks and months that we were maybe a bit unlucky in conceding some set pieces. Because that can happen in 5 or 6 games. Difficult to see it for the long term. But it's something we definitely have to improve, because I also see teams in the Premier League that win games by set pieces, and we lose games because of set pieces.
James?
Arne, just in terms of how intimidating the atmosphere is going to be here tomorrow night, what does your team need to do differently to avoid gifting Galatasaray the initiative in the same way as Palace were allowed to be on the front foot so early on Saturday?
Yeah, that depends on what you mean with the initiative, because for me, Palace didn't have the initiative if you talk about ball possession, because even the first 8 minutes were perfectly fine for me, till we've conceded a corner, where you can debate, by the way, if it was a corner, yes or no. So you have to answer to the fact why I got a yellow. And then we conceded a corner, and then we've conceded too much chances, but it wasn't because they had the initiative, it was because they counter-attacked us a few times really well. And we lost the ball in positions where we shouldn't lost it. So we have to do much better than this. I'm not sitting here telling you we played a good first half. I'm not telling you that having initiative in a game is something that is worth a lot. No, if you have initiative, it should lead to chances, and it should definitely not lead to conceding chances. But it wasn't that they were all over us. They counter-attacked us a few times really well, and we didn't do as well as we had to do. And they played a few times the ball into our last line, where they won the second ball, and that is something we need to improve. But Galatasaray is a completely different team to Palace, but also a team that's very hard to beat, similar to Palace. 18 games without a loss, Palace. This team have won the first 7 games in the league. So that means that they are mentally also strong for difficult moments. If you win a lot, then you're also mostly mentally a bit stronger. So a very difficult team to face, but with a lot of qualities. But you cannot compare these teams. One is playing 5-4-1, the other one is playing 4-3-3. So different players, different manager, different formation.
Last question here, please.
Ferhat Kızıltaş. Az önce kendiniz de dile getirdiniz.
So,
Galatasaray
you have
geçen sezon
mentioned this
attığı
as
91
well
golün 24
about
tanesini
Galatasaray.
penaltısız duran toplardan atmıştı.
24
Geçen
out
sezon
of
Şampiyonlar
91
Ligi'nde duran
goals scored
toptan
by
yediğiniz
Galatasaray
golü
last
hatırlamıyorum.
season
Çok
was from set pieces,
başarılıydınız
including
ama
penalties.
bu sezon
Just like you said,
4
you have
tane
been
gol
really
yediniz.
doing well
Galatasaray'ın duran
last
toplarında
season in set
Gabriel
pieces,
Sara
but
gibi
this
çok
year not
kritik
as
bir
much.
oyuncusu var ama
Galatasaray
İlkay
has
Gündoğan
Gabriel
transferi
Sara,
sonrası kendisini
and
zaman
very
zaman
effective
yedek
player in set
kulübesinde
pieces. But
görüyoruz.
after
Gabriel Sara'nın
İlkay
yarın
Gündoğan was brought into
oynamaması
the
sizin
team,
için bir
Gabriel
avantaj mıdır?
Sara is now mostly a substitute. Do you think it will be an
Teşekkür ederim.
advantage for you that Sara might not play tomorrow in terms of set pieces, considering how effective he is in those?
No, I think you already gave the answer. We've shown that we are a team that can defend set pieces really well. But more and more in football, you see it becomes more and more a set piece game. And I know that set pieces are a part of football, but I watched Brentford Man United on the way up to Palace, and I saw, I think, 25 minutes of that game, and I think it was 20 minutes long throw-in, set piece, long throw-in, set piece, corner kick, goal kick. Goal kick is not a set piece, by the way. So this is the style of football you see more and more, in my opinion, mainly in the Premier League, and there's a reason for me why it's even more done in the Premier League than other leagues, because in the Premier League you can do much more. You can attack a goalkeeper, for example. You can even touch him, and then it's not even a foul. This is something everybody likes about the Premier League, but in Europe this is definitely a bit different. But we knew that Galatasaray is also strong in set pieces. But I can tell you that we've been a force in set pieces last season. We won our last Champions League game because of a set piece. We scored a 3-2 with Virgil. We were very, very, very close of scoring one against Palace. So yeah, every team you face at the moment, you have to be so well prepared when it comes to set pieces. So back in the days when I was still playing, we only talked about football. And there was not even a set piece coach, let alone there was a set piece meeting. Nowadays, set piece meetings take just as long as the tactical meeting or the preparation for the game, football-wise. So that tells you the importance of we give to set pieces, and I think every team around Europe gives to set pieces.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys.
Well.